Imagine for a moment that every piece of information, every bit of wisdom, and every expression of love is like a seed. When we share these seeds, we have the power to plant gardens in the lives of others. The right information, shared at the right time, can solve problems that seem impossible. It can mend a broken heart, fix a misunderstanding, or provide the key that unlocks someone's potential. Think about a time when a friend gave you a simple piece of advice that changed everything. That is the power we all hold. Sharing is the currency of human connection, the way we build bridges between our separate worlds and create a shared experience of growth and understanding. But how we share is just as important as what we share. Information without love can feel cold, critical, or even hurtful. It can be perceived as judgment rather than guidance. Love is the soil that allows the seed of information to grow. When we share from a place of genuine care and compassion, our words land differently. The person receiving them feels seen, supported, and valued. They are more open to hearing what we have to say because they trust our intention. We are not just trying to be right, we are trying to help. This loving intention transforms a simple fact into a profound gift, one that nurtures and uplifts. Consider the vast ocean of information available to us today. We are constantly flooded with opinions, news, and advice from every direction. In this noisy world, sharing with purpose and love becomes a revolutionary act. It cuts through the chaos and delivers something meaningful. Before you share, take a moment to connect with your heart. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to prove a point, or am I sharing this to serve a purpose? Am I offering this from a place of ego or from a place of empathy? This small pause can make all the difference, ensuring that our words become a source of healing and not harm. Ultimately, the goal of sharing is to elevate collective consciousness. When one person learns and grows, we all benefit. We are all connected in this intricate web of life. Your wisdom can be the light that guides someone else through a dark time. Their experience, in turn, can teach you something new. By committing to share information with love, we contribute to a cycle of positive exchange. We create a community built on trust, support, and mutual growth. We become gardeners, tending to the collective human spirit, one loving seed of information at a time. To share information responsibly, we must first understand our relationship with it. There are different levels of knowing, and recognizing where we stand is the first step toward wise sharing. The first level is ignorance, which is simply not knowing. This is not a state of shame, it is a state of potential. It is the empty cup, ready to be filled. Admitting I don't know is a sign of great strength and humility. It opens the door to learning and prevents us from spreading misinformation. In a world that pressures us to have an opinion on everything, embracing the honesty of ignorance is a powerful act of integrity. The second level is more complex. It is the illusion of knowledge. This is when we think we know something. We may have heard it from a friend, read a headline, or formed an opinion based on incomplete data. This is the most dangerous state because we act with the confidence of an expert, but without the foundation of truth. We share opinions as facts and can unintentionally mislead others. It is crucial to question what we think we know. Where did this information come from? Have I verified it? Am I considering other perspectives? This self-inquiry helps us move from assumption to authentic understanding. The third and highest level is true knowing. This is called wisdom. This knowledge is not just memorized, it is integrated. It comes from a combination of verified information, direct experience, and deep reflection. When you truly know something, you understand its nuances, its context, and its implications. You can explain it simply and apply it effectively. This is the only level from which we should feel confident sharing information with others. Wisdom is patient and humble. It doesn't feel the need to shout. It waits for the right moment to be shared, knowing its value lies in its truth and its timely application. Before we rush to offer our 2 cents, we should perform a quick internal check. Am I in a state of ignorance, illusion, or wisdom on this topic? If we are ignorant, our role is to listen and learn. If we are under the illusion of knowledge, our role is to pause, research, and question. Only when we arrive at a place of true knowing, of integrated wisdom, is it our time to share. This discipline ensures that when we do speak, our words have weight, integrity, and the genuine power to help. It transforms us from noisemakers into trusted sources of guidance. Even when we possess true wisdom, sharing it requires skill and timing. We can think of sharing as navigating through 4 different doors, each representing a unique situation. The first door is ignorance. where someone genuinely does not know something and is open to learning. This is the ideal scenario for sharing. The person is asking for a map because they are lost. Here, our knowledge is a welcome gift. We can offer it freely, knowing it will be received with gratitude. We are filling an empty space with something useful, like offering water to someone who is thirsty. The second door is innocence. This is when someone holds a belief that is incorrect, but they do so without malice. They are not trying to be difficult, they are simply misinformed. Approaching this situation requires great gentleness. Instead of bluntly correcting them, which can cause shame or defensiveness, we can ask questions. That's an interesting perspective. Where did you learn that? Or have you ever considered this other point of view? This approach invites them to discover the truth for themselves, which is far more powerful than having it dictated to them. It respects their journey and preserves their dignity. The third door is wisdom. This is a fascinating situation where the person you are speaking with already knows the information you are about to share. They may even know it more deeply than you do. If we rush in to teach them, we can come across as arrogant or condescending. The key here is to share from a place of connection, not instruction. We can say, "This is something that's been on my mind. I'm sure you've thought about it too." Or, "I was reminded of this principle today." This opens a dialogue between two wise souls, creating a space for shared reflection rather than a one-sided lecture. The final door is the most challenging, untimely sharing. This is when we have the right information, but it is the wrong time or the wrong person. The person may be too emotional to listen, too stressed to process new ideas, or simply not ready to hear that particular truth. Pushing our wisdom through this closed door will only lead to frustration and conflict. The wisest action here is patience. We must hold our knowledge with love and wait. The right moment will eventually arrive, and when it does, our carefully preserved wisdom will be received as the gift it was always meant to be. Our minds are like powerful magnets, constantly sending out invisible signals into the universe. The quality of our thoughts determines the quality of the people, situations, and experiences we attract into our lives. This is the law of attraction. If our minds are filled with thoughts of fear, scarcity, and negativity, we will inevitably draw more circumstances that validate those feelings. We will notice all the things that go wrong and attract people who are also stuck in a cycle of complaint and blame. Our outer world becomes a direct reflection of our inner world. The beautiful truth is that we have the power to change what we attract. We can consciously choose the thoughts we want to cultivate. By focusing on kindness, gratitude, trust, and abundance, we begin to change our magnetic frequency. We start attracting people who are also kind and supportive. We begin to notice opportunities instead of obstacles. Our reality shifts not because the world has changed, but because our perception of it has. We are tuning into a different radio station, one that plays a more joyful and harmonious song. This is not magic. It is the practical science of the mind. To become more attractive in the truest sense of the word, to attract more love, wisdom, and opportunity, we must work on our inner state. We can start by becoming more aware of our habitual thought patterns. Are they empowering or disempowering? Are they rooted in love or in fear? When we catch a negative thought, we don't have to fight it. We can simply acknowledge it and gently replace it with a better feeling one. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard, we can try, I am capable of figuring this out." This small shift, practiced consistently, rewires our brain for success and positivity. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. Your thoughts and energy are the light you emit. What kind of ships do you want to guide to your shore? If you want to attract wise, loving, and reliable people, you must first cultivate those qualities within yourself. Be the friend you want to have. Be the partner you want to attract. Radiate the energy of trust, compassion, and optimism. Your light will be seen from miles away, and those who are seeking that same light will naturally navigate their way toward you. Your inner work becomes a beacon for the life you wish to live. There is a fundamental principle in the universe known as the law of empty spaces, or nature's abhorrence of a vacuum. This law states that no space remains empty for long. If you create a void, something will rush in to fill it. We see this in nature all the time. If a tree falls in a dense forest, sunlight pours into the new clearing, and new saplings immediately begin to compete for that space. We can apply this powerful law to our own lives, to our minds, our hearts, and our homes to consciously create positive change. Many of us are holding on to things that no longer serve us. Our minds are cluttered with old beliefs, past resentments, and worries about the future. Our hearts are heavy with unresolved grief or anger. Our calendars are filled with obligations that drain our energy. These things occupy valuable space, leaving no room for anything new to enter. To attract better experiences, we must be willing to let go. We must have the courage to create an empty space. This means forgiving someone, releasing a limiting belief, or saying no to an activity that doesn't align with our values. Creating this space can feel scary at first. The emptiness can feel uncomfortable because we are so used to the clutter. But we must trust the law. When you let go of a painful memory, you create space for peace to enter. When you release a toxic relationship, you make room for a healthy one to blossom. When you clear your schedule of draining tasks, you open up time and energy for your true passions to emerge. The universe is waiting to fill the spaces you create with things that are far better than what you let go of. So take a moment to look at your life. What are you holding on to that is taking up precious room? Is it a grudge you've held for years? Is it a job that stifles your soul? Is it a closet full of clothes you never wear? Have the courage to release it. Let it go. Thank it for the lesson it taught you, and then set it free. Create a vacuum. Trust that this act of release is an invitation. You are signaling to the universe that you are ready for something new, something better, something more aligned with who you are becoming. In every interaction, in every challenge, in every moment of every day, we are faced with a fundamental choice. We can choose to react from a place of fear and ego, or we can choose to respond from a place of love. Love is not just a feeling that comes and goes. It is a conscious decision. It is a way of being. When someone is difficult, we can choose to see their pain instead of their aggression. When we make a mistake, we can choose self-compassion instead of self-criticism. When life presents an obstacle, we can choose to approach it with curiosity and grace. Love is always an available option. The single greatest obstacle to choosing love is pride. Pride is the voice of the ego that tells us we need to be right, to win the argument, to protect our image at all costs. Pride makes us defensive. It closes our hearts and our minds. It convinces us that showing vulnerability is a weakness and that forgiving someone means letting them win. Pride builds walls where love wants to build bridges. It is the heavy armor that we think protects us, but in reality, it only isolates us and prevents us from experiencing true connection and growth. Think about a time you had a disagreement with someone you care about. How much of the conflict was fueled by pride? How much of it was about needing to prove your point rather than understanding theirs? Pride makes life unnecessarily hard. It turns small misunderstandings into prolonged battles. It prevents us from apologizing when we are wrong and from accepting an apology when it is offered. Letting go of pride is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate sign of strength. It is choosing connection over being correct. It is choosing peace over conflict. Choosing love over pride is a practice. It requires mindfulness in the heat of the moment. When you feel that surge of defensiveness, that need to be right, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, what would love do right now? The answer might be to listen without interrupting. It might be to say, you could be right, let me think about that. It might be to simply walk away and revisit the conversation when emotions are calmer. Every time we choose love, we weaken the grip of pride and strengthen our capacity for happiness, peace, and genuine human connection. Living a life guided by love is not an abstract concept. It is built upon a foundation of daily actions and attitudes. These are the practical tools, the pillars that support a more conscious and compassionate existence. The first pillar is acceptance. This means accepting people, situations, and ourselves exactly as we are in this moment. It is not about condoning harmful behavior, but about acknowledging reality without resistance. Resistance is what causes suffering. Acceptance is the starting point for any positive change, bringing a sense of peace and clarity to our minds. The second pillar is action. Love is a verb. It requires us to act with kindness and integrity. This can be as simple as offering a genuine compliment, holding a door open for someone, or actively listening to a friend in need. The third pillar is adaptability. Life is constantly changing, and our ability to adapt with grace and flexibility is a form of love for ourselves and the process of life. Instead of fighting change, we learn to flow with it, trusting that we have the resilience to handle whatever comes our way. These three pillars, accepting, acting, and adapting, form a powerful trio for navigating the world. The next pillars deepen our practice. The fourth is gratitude. Actively thanking life for its gifts, big and small, shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. It rewires our brain to see the good. The fifth pillar is responsibility. This means taking ownership of our life, our choices, and our reactions. We stop blaming others or circumstances and recognize that we are the creators of our experience. This is incredibly empowering. The sixth pillar is respect. This involves honoring the journey of others, even when we don't understand it, and respecting ourselves enough to set healthy boundaries. Finally, the seventh pillar is value. This is about recognizing the inherent worth in ourselves and in all living things. We treat ourselves with care, we appreciate the beauty of nature, and we see the divine spark in every person we meet. These 7 pillars, acceptance, action, adaptability, gratitude, responsibility, respect, and value, are not just ideas to be admired. They are tools to be used every single day. By consciously practicing them, we build a strong and unshakable foundation for a life filled with love, purpose, and profound joy. We often view problems as unwelcome intruders in our lives. We see them as obstacles to our happiness, sources of stress and frustration that we wish would just disappear. But what if we could shift our perspective entirely? What if we began to see every problem not as a punishment, but as a lesson? What if every challenge was actually a teacher in disguise, sent to help us grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate? This single shift in perspective can transform our entire experience of life, turning struggle into a sacred opportunity for growth. Think about the most difficult times in your life. While they were painful to go through, what did they teach you? Perhaps a financial struggle taught you the importance of resourcefulness and gratitude. Maybe a painful breakup taught you about self-love and resilience. Perhaps a health issue taught you to cherish your body and live in the present moment. The universe does not send us problems to break us. It sends us problems to make us. The challenges we face are perfectly designed to teach us the exact lessons we need to learn for our soul's evolution. When you are faced with a problem, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" This question immediately shifts you from a state of victimhood to a state of empowerment. It turns you from a passive sufferer into an active student. The problem may be teaching you patience. It may be teaching you forgiveness. It may be revealing a limiting belief you need to release. When you understand the lesson, the emotional charge of the problem often begins to dissolve. The struggle loses its power over you because you have extracted its wisdom. Understanding this principle brings immense peace. It means that nothing is ever truly wrong. Everything is serving a purpose. Every traffic jam is a lesson in patience. Every difficult person is a lesson in compassion. Every failure is a lesson in humility and perseverance. Life becomes a grand classroom, and we are its eager students. When we embrace this mindset, we stop fighting against life and start learning from it. We find that peace and happiness are not found in the absence of problems, but in our ability to find the wisdom within them. Understanding these laws is the first step, but integrating them into our daily lives is where the real transformation happens. Wisdom requires practice. Like building a muscle, our capacity for love, sharing, and conscious living grows stronger with consistent effort. Here are a few simple exercises you can begin today to put these powerful principles into action. These practices don't require a lot of time, only a little bit of intention. They are designed to be woven into the fabric of your normal day, turning mundane moments into opportunities for mindful growth. First, practice the ask before you advise technique. The next time you feel the urge to give someone advice, pause. Take a breath and ask a simple question like, "I have a thought on this, would you be open to hearing it?" Or, "Are you looking for advice, or would you just like me to listen?" This simple act shows immense respect for the other person's autonomy. It ensures that your wisdom is shared when it is welcome, making it far more likely to be received. This practice builds trust and deepens the quality of your conversations and relationships. Second, create a daily release ritual. At the end of each day, take just 5 minutes to practice the law of empty spaces. Sit quietly and mentally review your day. Is there any frustration, resentment, or worry you are holding on to? Consciously visualize yourself placing that heavy energy into a box and watching it float away. Then, state what you would like to fill that empty space with. For example, I release my frustration from the traffic jam and invite in a feeling of peace and patience. This simple ritual clears your mental and emotional space for a restful night and a fresh start tomorrow. Finally, begin a practice of love in action affirmations. choose one of the 7 pillars of a loving life each day. If today is Acceptance Day, start your morning by saying, "Today, I choose to accept what I cannot change." Throughout the day, repeat this affirmation whenever you feel resistance rising. If it's Gratitude Day, your affirmation could be, "Today, I will find joy in the small things." These are not just empty words, they are commands to your subconscious mind, directing your focus and shaping your responses. By consistently practicing these simple exercises, you are not just learning wisdom, you are living it.